Winning. I've outsmarted you on a number of levels. Beta. Well, actually, King's not. Beta.
That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck.
Keep your mouth shut. I'm going to go in there and slap your face.
You know, we're going to rise like the Phoenix. And
Get in my limousine. Ride on 85. Get in my Learjet. Woo!
Welcome to the Asterisk Conclusion podcast. You're here with the king himself. I'm joined by my compadre, the Grizz, and a super special guest tonight, Sleeper. Well,
yeah.
How are y'all doing?
Good. We got a champion in the house tonight, so he's going to represent and do some actual sleeper picks.
Yeah, you've had a champion 2 times.
Well, we got a new champion. We hadn't had this champion on pod before.
That is true. 5-time champion, Sleeper.
Sleeper, you're tied up with Gatos, aren't you?
Yeah, I was knocking on the door of 7 though. I mean, I was two were just this close. But yeah, five clean titles. That's my claim to fame.
Whew. It's pretty impressive in this league. Usually you have to cheat your way to 5.
Before we get to anything, was there any hype in anything in last night's game? I didn't see anything that excited anybody.
I like the fast Jets back, but it's just typical preseason fun. The Apakundi guy, whatever, that guy's fast. He was fast.
Yeah, I mean, like your 5th and 6th stringers, showing out. It's really fun.
Zach Wilson had one pretty pass. That's all I got out of that game. It was kind of boring.
Part of me thought maybe is Aaron Rodgers a Brett Favre to Zach Wilson? And do we look back in 6 years and Zach Wilson becomes something? I think 0 chance, but wouldn't that be wild if Zach Wilson became something?
No, Joe would like it. He hopes
dawn
so.
of a new day for the Jets. Well, let's start getting into this. First topic of the night, I believe Sleeper is going to give his top 10 sleeper picks for this year.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, I can go in different directions here, but I kind of tried to just look at some ADP, which is weird right now because you got this best ball world. I don't know how plugged in you guys are. That is actively drafting for months, and then you've got the redraft people. So looking at ADP is weird. But here's what here's some names. I put a list. Best running back in football. He's underrated. He's a sleeper. He's going to go probably 2nd round, late first. A guy by the name of Nick Chubb. He's just good at football. So I would feel good about taking that guy in the top 5, and I don't think that's where he goes. So I think that makes him a sleeper. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, people are it's the no running back league this year. No running backs at all in the first couple rounds, from what I understand. So he might fall pretty low or fall into the 2nd round, which would be shocking.
Yeah, the Browns have been kind of discounted the last few years, and my brother likes Chubb, but Chubb's super safe. He is one of the, if not the best ball carrier in the league right now. He's a man child. He's just a huge individual. He just doesn't have that long range speed or that catching ability, but I think you'll see that improve a little bit with Watson at the helm for a full year. So I am interested to see where Chubb goes in the draft.
And also, Kareem Hunt's not there anymore, is he?
No, you got to back up some Ford guy. And more interesting, I wonder where his backup goes because I think Sleeper, you had Hunt a few times and he's done pretty well for you.
Yes, and I'm familiar with the new backup, but I just wonder, do they bring Hunt back or do they let Chubb eat more on the 3rd down work before they stop paying him? And this could be a magical season. So Nick Chubb, good pick. Right. Can't go wrong.
Love it.
Number 2, and I thought about this the other night. I'm thinking about my Panthers, and I'm thinking, who's going to be the leader on offense? They're babies. They got Adam Thielen. Not going to be it. But who could, coming off a good run in the playoffs, be the leader on offense and have a magical season? I kind of thought about Stephen Davis because he's not the same kind of player, but when we signed Stephen Davis, he came in and had a monster season and then started fizzling. And I think Miles Sanders could be that guy this year. I think he's going at what I saw was like a 6th round, 5th round price.
Oh, really? It's higher.
What should be a 3rd, a 3 down running back. So again, team gets better. There's more to eat. Does Sanders have a mega year and he plays like Jacobs did last year? He goes 6th round. He plays like a first, second rounder.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this year for Sanders is good because with Bryce Young at QB, they're going to be handing the ball off a lot more than throwing it. I think that's just going to be their game plan, and I mean, Sanders will be there to eat.
You can't push Bryce Young like you can Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
Bryce Young's not going over the goal line, so I think that alone puts Sanders in a position he's never been in before as this goal line back potentially. So we'll see. Last one running back wise, and this guy I've loved since he came to the league, and he's had a lot of injury problems, and his team didn't like him. They got rid of him, and he's on a new team, and I think he's on the best team, and that's DeAndre Swift. If that guy can stay healthy,
yeah, right, Coop.
Top back. I love that guy on the field. So
well, the Eagles are hot. I think everybody in the league wants Eagles on their team, and
yeah.
Swift is going to be it. They got Rashard Penny, who had an interesting year last year at Seattle, but he's not going to threaten Swift. Swift's going to be the bell cow there, and he's just one of those guys, like kind of like when I drafted Jacobs last year. I could see him going in anywhere between around 3 and 5, and he could be a league winner for somebody, be a stud.
Yeah, I could see Hurts just using him, just dumping the ball off, kind of almost what Rivers did with LT back in the day, just, using him in that, like those little 5-yard dump off passes, and who knows, he could have a monster year.
Those are my tailbacks. I didn't go too deep on the tailbacks as far as the backgrounds, but I don't know if anybody's really jumping out to me. I like the Jerome Ford pick. I mean, guys that have never been in their position. That's what I'm looking for. To get some sleepers in the mix. All right, quarterbacks. I went with 4. They're all going well after. Well, that's not true. Top one that I think is going to explode. Former sleeper, and this is a very bandwagon pick. Lamar Jackson. More weapons than he's ever had. New offensive coordinator. Not going with the big 4 up top. He's the next one off the board. Natural pick. I think to outplay where he's being drafted. Yeah. Not that all the quarterbacks aren't going a little earlier than they should be, but hey, I think he's right there. If you're going to pick an elite guy at a little slight discount, Lamar's your guy.
He's got no more excuses. He's been paid, and he does have more weapons than he's ever had before, and he's got a good coach. So he is an interesting person, and it's just about the value. Where does he go? I don't know, and he will go high in our league. That's guaranteed.
Yeah, well, he's had some injury concerns the last couple of years. That's going to be one issue with him going forward, because after getting paid, does he even have the heart? I don't even think he had the heart the last couple of years, but does he even have the heart? Like if he gets a little nick and whatever.
How dare you imply Lamar Jackson in that part? Oh my God, this is going on YouTube, Coop.
I know. I'm going to tag him too.
All right, next one for me was Tua. And I know Tua's got a lot going on, but I think Tua, this is fantasy, guys. You got to grab upside. Can play terribly and put up 25 fantasy points. Mm-hmm. So I'm enthralled by him, and honestly, Tyreek Hill, who I'm not going to draft because I'm not going to have a chance. But love those guys.
Yeah,
they're both really nasty.
No.
As long as Tua stays healthy, didn't have any concussions or any symptoms with being knocked the hell out. And he seems like he's always got an issue, but his weapons are just amazing. And I think everybody's on the Tua bandwagon. It's odd because at the end of last year, we were talking about Tua not playing again. And here we are beginning of the year, and everybody wants him real bad. So, he's one of those guys, he could probably slip into around 11, 12, 13, and, he could be a top 5 quarterback possibly if he stays healthy the whole year. Who knows?
Well, yeah, if I remember correctly, First and Goal had him last year, and not that it was like one of the few picks First got right the whole year, but when Tua was playing, I don't know if like First was really in the mix, but he certainly was like more middle of the road with the league. And once Tua got hurt, he just dropped like a rock. So I mean, he can do some wonderful things.
I pulled up an ADP list over here. So Tua's going like average pick 93. So that puts him like round 9-10.
That's kind of where I see him going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's value there.
That's quarterback 3, 6, 9, quarterback 11. So I think he's got a good chance of finishing more like top 6 if he's healthy, and that's huge-ish after everybody saw what he went through last year. But
It'd be interesting if you have a chance to draft Waddle or Tyreek Hill. It'd be really interesting if you don't want to take a quarterback in the first 3 or 4 rounds. You just fall back and maybe you get him like round 8, just gamble a little bit, and you compare him with one of his players. That'd be nasty.
That would be. All right, a couple other ones later, guys. Anthony Richardson. What are y'all thinking about that guy? Just as a late round dart throw, he runs the ball. He's Taysom Hill, and he's still scoring 20-some points a game.
He's going to run the ball. He's going to get your points running. He is a hot prospect and a big name right now. I do think the thing what hurts him right now is Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if that's a lot of drama. But I think if Taylor leaves that team, it does handicap Richardson's value a little bit. He does have some good wide receivers there. I like Alec Pierce, and Pittman's really good. I think the Colts are just trying to recover from last year's devastation. Like, that was just a complete hot mess. The Colts might have been the biggest mess in football last year. They should have been pretty decent. But Richardson's got a good blend. But as a rookie, we'll have to wait and see. I really want to see what this guy can do. What do you think, Coot?
You know what? I might disagree here. I think he's going to have like some rookie curve here. I don't think the offensive line in Indy is as strong as it's been in the past years. And for a quarterback like Richardson, I think that would be a big thorn in the side for him. He just isn't. To me, when he was coming in the draft, he wasn't a very polished quarterback, and I think his rookie year might show that.
Yeah.
I think it might be ugly, but I think the guy could put up some major points, and that's what I'm at.
His upside for fantasy looks good because he is a runner.
Yeah,
he's Justin Fields, guys. But
where's he going, like ADP wise?
The ADP list I'm looking at, he is he's going pick 118.
That's amazing.
That's right after Aaron Rodgers and right before Jared Goff.
Ooh,
yeah. That's pretty risky.
Let me ask you real quick: would you rather have Jared Goff or Richardson? Right? I mean, just if you had to choose one right now.
So that's quarterback 16 is what Anthony Richardson is. So I would say you don't have to pick; you can get both of them, right? But I would, if I had to pick today, I would pick Jared Goff because I'm going to play a little safer, and he's got a ton of weapons. But yeah, they're both, guy had one magical good season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the team that drafts Richardson's a guy that has like Patrick Mahomes or Allen, and they have the luxury of picking him at the very end of the draft.
Yeah,
I think it's a guy named Al Murphy, and I think it's going to be more like round 11.
I like it. All right. Put him on.
All right. Okay. Last one for me was Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I know he's controversial. I know he played terribly last year. I know a century ago in 2020 or 2019, he was quarterback 4. So did he get his shit out of the gutter? Did he figure it out over the offseason? And does he go from this round 7 pick that plays like a top 4 round pick? I think that's a good case to make there.
I think he's a league winner in a sense. Like, he's going to be drafted where he's at. And I looked at his stats from 2 years ago. They're pretty sick. I mean, he was lighting the NFL up, and if he can reclaim that form, watch out. I mean, geez, he's got the potential to do some nasty things.
Someone's going to take him and strike gold. It's just a big question of where he's going to go. Like, at least in our league, that's a huge wild card there. Someone could reach for him, and he also could slip all the way down to 10. Who knows? So.
I think for a year or two, we were viewing him as the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely went top 5 every year for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, we did our top 10 based out of the Lindsay magazine. He wasn't even in the top 10 there.
Yeah. I mean, well, that magazine's out of date.
Go ahead.
How on time before I wear y'all out with all my picks and we have to end the podcast? Are we doing good?
We might. Do you have some more picks?
I haven't even gotten to receivers.
Well, let's do that. Let's do
I'll cluster them a little bit. Higher end of the board. Sleeper picks. Going to outplay where they get picked. I got to say Garrett Wilson. And I know he's young, but he's going outside the top 10 receivers, and I think he can play like a top 5 receiver. I don't know any difference in him than Devontae Adams as far as skill and situation, and he's ranked below him, so I'm going to put him as a sleeper. And then another high-end guy would be DK Metcalf, second-year Geno Smith. He's going lower. He's gone the past couple of years in the 20s. And I think an outstanding opportunity of putting up a top 10, 12 season.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson is going to be really interesting because now he's got Aaron Rodgers, someone who can actually like sling the ball. His second year, he could just be in for a monster year. And right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of who the Jets' second receiver is. I mean,
that's what I was thinking of. There's been no talk of their second or third. I wanted to say it was the guy they got from Tennessee. Not what was his name?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is flying way under the radar. He's a guy that you could draft towards the very end of the draft, and he could be a 1,000-yard receiver with him.
He could be. But yeah, I mean, like, there's no real threat to Wilson right now. So like he's going to get the lion's share of Rodgers' balls.
All right. I'm going to keep moving. 2 guys named Mike. These are more mid-round picks. Mike Williams for the Chargers. I'm hearing way too much about this Quentin Johnson character.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Williams is just fine the way Mike Williams is. And I also like Mike Evans, where he's going. I think everybody's down on Tampa, and somebody's still going to catch the ball, and he's the most likely guy to catch the ball from a guy that can't throw it very well. He's just massive and athletic. So Mike Williams and Mike Evans.
I think the Tampa Bay wide receivers are going to be fantasy trash gold this year.
Yep.
People are going to sleep on Godwin and Evans.
Yeah.
And I'm really wanting to see what kind of numbers they throw up. And you don't know if Godwin or Evans will be with the team after this year, so they might have a chip in their shoulder or something to prove. Because Evans might want to finish out his career there. He does have a huge fan base in Tampa, but correct me if I'm wrong. Mike Evans has kind of been off and on in our league the last 2 or 3 years. He's kind of been nicked or bruised up, and when he plays, he's one of the best wide receivers catching touchdowns.
He's going right beside Marquise Brown.
Could be a nice steal there. Certainly for a second or third, maybe even a second receiver. Yeah.
All right, keep pushing. So, all right, I'm gonna jump to the end of my list. So, and Andy, I like where you went with guys that don't even get drafted, that are in positions to get fantasy points. So I'm going to throw out Devontae Parker, completely off the radar. Should be the number 1 in New England. Jalen Hyatt, a rookie with the Giants.
Tennessee.
Yep. DJ Chark with the Panthers, and Curtis Samuel with the Redskins. And why don't you start with the Redskins guy, Andy?
Samuel, I think, is going to be their number 2. It's not, we know Scary Terry is going to be 1. But the Redskins got a good trio of receivers. The real determining factor, they have Eric Bieniemy now, their offensive coordinator, and they have Sam Howell as a quarterback. And that, to me, man, I just don't know. I think they're going to run the hell out of the football, even though they got good wide receivers. I can't figure out that franchise as a whole. So to me, I don't even know what I would do with any Redskins players, honestly.
All right. He can be yours for free. No one drafts Curtis Samuel, and I think he's worth picking up.
We're going to have a lot of players contribute. Go ahead.
Jalen Hyatt, DJ Chark, just throwing out those names again.
Shark, I think could be a really good pick. I mean, like Thielen's there, but Thielen's old and has lost 10 steps. If he stays healthy, I'll be shocked also. That is also one knock on Shark is his ability to stay healthy. When he does, he puts up 1,000+ yards, and he's an all-pro. But that's been a while. But with the Panthers, why not?
I wouldn't be surprised if Shark's the number 1 wide receiver. I can see Thielen starting off and playing okay, but being old and slow will catch up to him. Teams figure him out, and they're going to try to maybe blow up in the playbook more with Mingo and Shark. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
That was my 10. Maybe went 12.
That's all right. How much time we got, Coop?
You know what? We're not in the 10-minute mark right now, so we got some time.
We're going to go over your. We can do rookies another podcast. You want to
Okay.
go to bus?
Yeah, I can run through bust real quick. Um, I'll start off, and I kind of like looked at this as like how where they're kind of going within position, like for instance, my first person I'm going to mention is David Njoku, the Browns. He's been catching a lot. He's been getting some hype mainly because of Watson and everything. However, I just don't think he's going to go where he goes is just not worth it. I don't think he's going to be a tight end one.
Where's his ADP at?
Let me see if I can find.
ADP guy over here.
He's like a tier 3 tight end, if I remember. Like, I like him. He played good for LTD in spurts, but there's just a lot of tight ends. Tight ends to me are a position where you kind of have to just like a personal thing. Like, do you think he's got the ability to go over 50 or 60 balls, and that's where the kind of decent ones lie? And I don't know where he lies, and I want to see one more year of production with him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say? ADP?
I'm just looking at he's 10th overall tight end. He is right behind Fryermuth and just ahead of Dalton Schultz and Chig Okonkwo.
Yeah, I think Njoku could have like a bad year. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones was kind of coming on last year, and not that he's a tight end, but I think he's going to get those kind of like tight possession receiver type plays from Deshaun Watson. It's kind of taken away from Njoku.
Who you got number 2?
I got Calvin Ridley, another player who's been going high, and I just don't think he's going to be worth it. I think he could have like a good year, but correct me if I'm wrong, but they're kind of projecting him to go like what, mid to late 3rd round or something like that.
I'm amazed at the amount of steam that this guy's picked up. How do you feel about that, Sleeper?
He is well, let's look at the data. He's going pick 42 overall. That's in the 4th round.
Wow.
He is wide receiver number 19. He's between Keenan Allen and Jerry Jeudy. I think he might be just right or a deal, in my opinion. This guy is a 1,200 yard, 8 touchdown Atlanta Falcon with an old Matt Ryan throwing him the ball, right?
I mean,
everybody's seen the TikTok and the YouTube videos. He looks amazing. And
mm-hmm.
What did he not play for? Did he get suspended because of like mental issues? Was it gambling or a combination of things? It was like off the field stuff. He got in trouble.
All of it.
All the above, buddy.
He had mental health, and he left the team, and then he had COVID, and I don't think he played, and then he had a gambling issue. So it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while.
Maybe he's hungry. But like, honestly, I've been burned by so many players like that in the past, and he will go high. And if he goes around, I mean, I would look at him a little bit later, but I'm not going to take him around 3 or 4.
I think he'll move up from where he is. I think this is kind of dated ADP stuff, and he probably jumps up to a 2nd, 3rd rounder, don't you?
That's the action stuff. We always draft upside, and one person's going to go for it. And he is the king of upside in this draft going into the draft right now, I think.
Would you take Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, or Calvin Ridley? I mean, they're all clustered there together.
I'm taking definitely not Keenan Allen.
I'm taking Cooper.
Okay. Yeah, I like Cooper.
Yeah, I like that guy. I like him better than any of those 3.
You taking T. Higgins or DK Metcalf or Calvin Ridley?
Metcalf for me.
What about T. Higgins?
I'm thinking T. Higgins.
That's what the ADP is.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I trust Gino. And that I mean, he had one great year. I just don't know if I trust Burrow more than I do Gino, and that's where I'm going.
All right. Well, who you got next, sir, Coop?
I got J.K. Dobbins right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you take him, I don't even know where he's going to go, but I think he'll be too high.
You're hating on the Ravens this year big time.
Yeah.
Down the toilet.
I think like, he has ACL tear. He hasn't played, in my opinion, very well, but I think like if you take him, like, I don't think he'll produce much at all.
I think his backups are boring, like Gus Edwards. I mean, Dobbins is kind of got some good qualities in terms of elite ability. I mean, he's never fully been healthy. I think this is only like third or fourth. He's really young. And he's been hurt a lot, but you've seen the flashes from him. They do run the ball hard because their running attack and how they operate. He could be a goal line back where he gets a lot of this, just fancy trash touchdowns. I don't know what he is, but he is a guy who could win you money if you gamble on it just right. But how high does he go? I don't have him in my top 20, I don't think, but he's kind of close.
Well, got to remember Melvin Gordon is also signed by the Ravens.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he makes the team, honestly.
Yeah.
Dobbins is going RB20 on the nose, like you said, and he's between Damian Pierce and Cam Akers.
I wouldn't touch Akers with it. We could have a whole podcast on Cam Akers after last year. That was just the weirdest thing ever.
Well, I was also, I mean, it's kind of a good lead in. Cam Akers was one of my other picks on here for overrated, because
that's a player I like to hear a sleeper talk about, because that is like one of those ultra odd guys, and he was just so weird. Like, how would you interpret his college career to the pros and what he did last year, sleeper, and projecting towards the Rams? And the Rams are an oddity as a whole. Like, do you trust Cam Akers, sleeper?
I do not trust Cam Akers, but I would draft Cam Akers. I think he is a very talented guy. I think he's a head case, but when he plays good football, it's really good football. And even after an Achilles, he tore it up late last year. I know you had to suffer through a bunch of bullshit before that, but I would take him and not look back.
Buyer beware. He hasn't put out a good year from that I can tell. I mean, he's had his games, but I'm good. I'd rather not mess around with that guy. And I mean, Stovall gets enough hell from all of us for it.
Yeah, it's bad.
So last year, let me look. I'm just looking at stats. So starting in week 13, he put up he had 6 touchdowns in his last 6 games.
I remember him just having a really good finish.
He had a 3-touchdown game, and he had 300-yard games, and that's just running. I'm not even looking at receiving. Hell, he had a ton of receiving yards. He had over 100 yards receiving in each of his last 4 games. That ain't normal.
He's hot right now. Then,
yeah. I'm going to throw out one more running back, or at least one of two, maybe. Jonathan Taylor, your boy, Grizz.
Well, who knows what he's going to be doing? They got drama central there right now.
Exactly. Tons of drama. New sketchy offensive line, new offensive system. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't know.
He'd be a perfect fit for like Buffalo. If I was Buffalo, I'd just get up next year's first round draft pick for him and trade like one of their current young running backs and just run with it. I just don't understand. I mean, Jonathan Taylor should be getting paid top money. Last year was a fluke. I think I blame that Matt Ryan and their GM there. But yeah, man, I just can't. That was an awful season last year. But Jonathan Taylor is now. But if Jonathan Taylor is with the Colts this year, I don't even have him in my first 2 rounds there. I just don't trust the guy. I just don't know what they're going to do with the Indianapolis Colts. They're a very odd team right now.
Sleeper, what are your thoughts?
I hope he falls down the draft board and I get to take him in like the 5th round. I think that who knows? It's a risk, and I like risky fantasy players.
I think
we know it's paid off for you too.
I think he's going in the 3rd round in our league. Like, if
good, I like that 3rd round. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to throw out one last player. Let's see. Let me find a decent one. I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr.
Another Raven.
Yeah, another Raven out there. He's had like some injuries the last years. He's older. He really hasn't had any kind of relevance fantasy wise for a couple years now. I mean, I think he's still trending on his name and being paired up with Lamar Jackson. Everybody's thinking it's going to be this hot duo. I just don't see it.
How many years did he sign for? Was it 1 or 2? I think it was a 1-year deal, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I would steer away from any guy on a 1-year deal. But yeah, I've never been an Odell Beckham fan after he left the Giants. He had that, some amazing seasons there and that famous catch. But yeah, I mean, somebody else can have him. I care less. His own name. What do you think, Sleeper? You like him?
Oh no, I like the rookie there, and I like Bateman at a discount. So Odell, I mean, if he's a value, great, but I don't think he will be. I think somebody will take that name too early.
Yeah, I agree. Got time for one more, maybe. Let's go Adam Thielen. We kind of touched on this earlier, but someone who, again, another name that I think is a little past his prime. I don't think he's going to do too much. He might not even make it the whole season. I'm looking for Shark to step up. I'm even looking for the rookie Mingo to kind of take over. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'll go this far. I don't think Thielen will be with the Panthers next year.
Could be.
I think he's going to coach it up and do good. I just don't see him sticking around long.
I don't disagree. I think he's a leader in the building. Show the young guys how to practice, and he'll be gone. So catch 30 balls. Thank you very much. See ya.
Hey, he's making money though.
That's all that matters.
Andy, while I've got you for the draft, what makes sense of the Bears backfield?
That's I was talking to my dad about that the other day. The Foreman, Deontay Foreman being there really is
30 seconds.
Supposed to wrench into everything, but I like Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, and Roshan Johnson. So I always go rookies, and I think it's just a matter of time before Roshan takes over, but you just don't know when that's going to happen. And we got to watch the preseason football. So next week, man, we got to buckle up, get your popcorn ready, and that's when the real fantasy talk's going to come about, and maybe some good rookie talk.
That's right. Well, guys, I'm going to have to cut it off. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget, we're right and you're wrong. Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Thank you for having me on.